Hello, everyone. Sunny with AI for ROI. I want to go through this workflow that I just completed last night after stumbling across a tool called Firecrawl. It was good timing. Recently, I'm looking into ways to generate high ticket leads for a commercial solar company. So that's the use case. Now, the way it started in this particular flow was an idea. We're looking for ways to generate business, and this is the use case using Firecrawl. So I wanted to go ahead and test it, being that I got 500 credits for free in Firecrawl right now you can access. So there was some search that went on before I used the last 30 days, which is a tool in VS Code that allows you to scrape the internet. It also web crawls X, Reddit, and the web. And it looks for posts, articles, topics that have recently gone viral within the last 30 days. So I scraped that and then put together a summary of some notes that I had in a recent meeting. The outcome was to create a dashboard and a code and a prompt to insert into VS Code, where I also have Cloud Code working. So this, I ended up pulling out a skill which was attached to projects that I have set up. So there's an ongoing conversation in this particular area. And Claude does have memory, so it's able to pull from past projects that are related to commercial solar. And it created some code. It told me what it was planning to do, and I pushed back. I asked some questions. It asked questions, and then we ended up building this thing. When I say we, I vibe coded with Claude. So just wanted to share this use case. I thought it was cool to test out a new product, and it ended up being pretty good. So I pushed back. I wanted more. The first version didn't have quite the intel that I wanted. It was using placeholder information. So I wanted to make sure that it was actually pulling data that I was looking for. So what type of data am I looking for? Let's go to the final. So the problem was commercial solar needed competitive intelligence and leads. So I wanted to understand what these top competitors were doing and what type of marketing were they pumping out? Were they big on SEO? Were they running ads? And that this code was able to build something that gave me just that. So I copied and pasted the prompt into VS Code. And then this is what came out of it. So Claude provides you with a good visual of what's to come. And what Firecrawl does is it will search the web and get full content from results. LLMs are more surface level type of search where they will just pull what they have access to, and it's about speed. So they're scanning, and they're looking for topics that are trending on the web. This one goes a little bit deeper. When we did paste it into VS Code, I noticed it was going to government sites and pulling some data. The type of data that we were looking for based on the plan was permits for new builds. We were looking for uh, competitor analysis, who is running ads, who isn't running ads, and what type of SEO are they running. Then it got into lead pipeline, and the first version did not give me any personal information, but the second one did. and you're going to see the final version next. All right, so let's see what it came up with. This was pretty impressive. So it created so after vibe coding and going through the strategy, working through it in a chat with Claude, and of course Claude knows, I have skills in Claude, I have projects set up in Claude. So this isn't the first time we've discussed commercial solar for this particular business. So I already knew everything and knew what I was trying to accomplish. I just put ABC commercial for the sake of this video. Now, what it did is it came up with competitor intel. So it identified who's a threat. And that's essentially what you want to do in business, right? You want to know who's the threats and what are they doing. And after reviewing everything, and this is pretty clean, it shows that Has Solar is on YouTube, Padres, Valley Sports Partners, Dual Domain Strategy, and then going over to Revel Energy, Programming SEO Powerhouse, and then California Solar Integrators, Programming SEO and dedicated pages per county. So it has their strategy, and then it has some takeaways. So some things that we can take away from this. I think this is really cool. The second iteration, I asked for emails and phone numbers, and it gave me the actual leads. This is amazing. So now I can go back to the director and feed him some leads, but as well as work with the digital marketing team to send out some outreach. We can use LinkedIn, Sales Navigator. I've set up an automation there that I can go over in another video. We can do email outreach, and we can text using Twilio and go high level. So there's so many things that we can do here for the next phase. And then lead pipeline. These are folks that do not have solar or in pre-construction. And there's a total of 12 leads. Now there may only be 12 leads here, but if we get one of those deals, I mean, we're talking multi-million-dollar deal in some cases. So this is pretty cool. Now, what I would do next time is I would take it a little bit deeper. What I did notice is we use 1,000 credits, 1,100 credits for 2 searches. And, that's a little too much. But these are for high ticket items and like big construction companies, commercial solar, like we're doing, that's okay. That makes sense. If we're able to convert, then it's still cheaper than it is, like, for instance, using Zoom Info, which is $22.50 a quarter. So this beats that, right? If you use it properly, you get the most out of it. See, 1,221. Now you are given 500 credits to start with. Sorry, I'm just bouncing around here, but you do give 500 credits to start, but they gave me 1,221 credits. You can see that here. So this were 2 searches. Going back to the pricing, let me just quickly go over here. You can see that 1,000 searches, you get for $16, you can get 3,000 searches. So essentially that's 2 for 6 complete searches. If you want 100,000, you can get 100 searches there. And yeah, I mean, pretty good tool. I'll let you know if we do convert, I will definitely purchase some credits, at least the $3,000 tier, to keep this going. But at one shot, this is amazing. Not only did Claude Code knock this out of the park with vibe coding on VS Code, this new tool, Firecrawl, definitely brought in the heat here with some really cool stuff. Market intelligence, summary, title 24, grid pressure. And then it says how this works. Give me the pipeline of how this works. So amazing stuff here. Just wanted to share that with you, what I'm building. Have a great day.